Hello there, grade, and welcome to our reading skill for today. We're going to continue looking at fact and opinion. Now, we've learned the two reasons for facts and opinions. A fact is a statement that can be proven to be true or false. So if I ask you, what color is the sky? We could say a fact back, the sky is blue, or we can say a false fact, the sky is red. An opinion has a feeling attached. So you could say, the weather feels gloomy today. That has a feeling attached, so that would be an opinion. It would not be a fact or something we could prove. Today we're going to be looking at an opinion writing and answering some of these questions after. Let's go ahead and begin. Please follow along on your class cake with me. Pointless, painful physical education. Everybody knows that physical education should be decreased. Australian students are becoming extremely low in numeracy and literacy. Children all over the world are involved in a sport after school, both in primary school and high school. There's also a high risk that your youth could become injured for the rest of their lives. These points will be explored further in the text below. As we continue reading, we will be highlighting in yellow any opinions that we see, any sentences that have a feeling attached. Remember, we can look for adjectives that sometimes give us a clue if it is a fact or an opinion. Firstly, Australian students are becoming extremely low in numeracy and literacy. If Australian students provide more time for physical education, our children would become as dumb as doorknobs. Now that will be an opinion. And dumb as a doorknob, that's figurative language. That's figurative language right here. It doesn't mean like they're a doorknob. It means that they're not very smart. Let's go ahead and underline this whole sentence in red because we're going to come back to it when we are thinking about the author's opinion of physical education. Let's keep going. Would you want your children, grandchildren, or grand-grandchildren to be as dumb as a doorknob? We want schools to help our children become intelligent and competent in literacy and numeracy so that they can get a good job when they grow up. So far, I want you to think about how they feel about physical education like PE or sports in school. Furthermore, most children today are playing sports after school. Some of these sports include dance, netball, football, soccer, horse riding, tennis, swimming, basketball, and hockey. Every child can find a sport to love and play. Children are playing these sports after school to keep fit and healthy. Almost every single student in our school plays a sport after school. If they increase physical education, your children also play sports after school. They will become as thin as a needle over exercising. Ooh, that's another figurative language. As, they use this as. So that would be a simile, which is incredibly unhealthy. The last and final reason why physical education should be reduced, ooh, that sounds like their opinion. They think it should be reduced, is that many students obtain atrocious injuries as a result of playing sports. I don't know the word atrocious, but I can add a blank to guess what it might mean. It is that many students obtain blank injuries as a result of playing a sport. So that's probably a bad injury. Sometimes these injuries are so dreadful that they require an ambulance to be called. Some children will have these painful injuries for the rest of their lives, which could even prevent them from walking correctly. Do you want your child to be unable to walk for the rest of their life? Only a fool would think, ooh, that's a key word whenever I'm looking for opinions, think that physical education should be increased in schools. We need to spend less time on physical education to raise our literacy and numeracy levels. Almost all students are already dedicated to sport outside of school. The school sport can cause students to be seriously injured. You should believe, oh, that's another key word that means an opinion, that physical education must be reduced in our schools today. All right, so looking at the title, Pointless, Painful Physical Education, and what we read, let's go to page 6 and answer some questions. First, at the top, we're going to write the author's opinion about physical education. What is physical education? Now, we highlighted a couple of his opinions or her opinions. Our children would become dumb as a doorknob if they do physical education, if they exercise. They also think that the reasons why physical education should be reduced, they think there shouldn't be as much physical education in the school. And he also said you would be a fool about physical education. So this author's opinion about physical education is, and then this is the part you're going to finish, that it should not be in schools. So you're going to finish the author's opinion after. Now here's some things we're going to consider. What reasons and facts does the author use? So they can show their opinion, but to make it strong and try to persuade someone, they have to use facts, things that can be proven. So let's go back and I want you to get a red highlighting tool. And we're going to find some facts, things that we could prove that helps his case that they should not do physical education. So let's look at paragraph 2 first, and I'll skim to see if we have any facts. We want our schools to help our children become intelligent. That's an opinion, because someone might not want, if you can put not in front of it, then that is probably an opinion. Most children today are playing sports after school. Some sports, and then it gives a list. Every child can find a sport to love and play. That's an opinion. Now, most children today are playing sports after school. We could look up, research, and see how many kids are playing sports after school. So that is a fact that many kids, and it could be proven true or false. It could be false that children are not playing sports after school, but it could also be true. So that is a fact. So we're going to type that in for one of our reasons or why the author thinks physical education should not be in schools. Children, I need to use cups and restate my question. Crossed out the question words. Use the rest in our answer. The reasons and facts the author uses is that many students play sports after school. Pause the video if you need more time to type that out. How does the author use facts to justify their opinion or their thinking? For this one, I want you to use the voice tool. You can go back and find something that they said that makes you think, oh yeah, maybe we shouldn't have physical education in school. What does the author say? Or what's another fact that justifies, that says that it is probably reasonable that we shouldn't have physical education in school? That one you're doing on your own, using the voice tool. Number 3, do you agree with the opinions of the author? Why or why not? This is the important part, that you are adding facts. Why or why not is asking you to support your opinion with facts. Now I'm going to give mine, but you might have something different. So first I'm going to restate my question, cross out the question words, use some of the words in my answer. I do not agree with the opinion of the author because, and this is how all of yours is going to start, I do not agree with the opinion of the author because, and then I'll put my opinion. I think kids love to have gym. So that's just answering my first question. There are 2 questions. That means I should have 2 sentences to answer the question. Now I'm working on the second one. Why or why not? Now I'm adding a fact. Now this is something that I could prove to be true or false. But I could say many parents don't have time to take their kids to sports after school. And maybe you have a different opinion. Maybe you think we should not have sports or physical education in school. And you can explain why you agree with the author. And if you don't, then you say how you disagree and add a fact. Once you're finished with this section, then you can move on to the next part for today.